Former Brooklyn Supreme Court Justice Sylvia Ashe was sentenced to 15 months in prison on Wednesday. Sylvia Ashe resigned from the bench earlier this month following her conviction for lying to the feds and destroying messages after learning federal prosecutors were probing an embezzlement scam at the Municipal Credit Union. Ashe served on the MCU's board of directors while also serving as a judge. The former New York State judge was sentenced on Wednesday to a year and 3 months in prison after her conviction for obstructing a probe into financial wrongdoing at a credit union that provides banking services to tens of thousands of New York City employees, including police and firefighters. Ex-State Supreme Court Justice Sylvia Ashe was sentenced by Judge Lewis Kaplan in Manhattan after her December conviction on charges of conspiracy, obstruction of justice, and making a false statement to a federal agent in an investigation of the Municipal Credit Union. U.S. Attorney Damian Williams said, quote, "While serving as a sitting state judge, Sylvia Ashe took repeated steps over multiple months to seek to obstruct the federal criminal investigation into misconduct at MCU that took place during Ashe's tenure as chair of its board of directors. Ashe agreed to do so with the now imprisoned former CEO of the credit union, who provided her with a steady stream of benefits from MCU, including after she was directed to resign from MCU's board. Today's sentence sends a clear message that those who attempt to thwart a federal investigation face serious consequences for that corrosive conduct." In pronouncing the sentence, Judge Kaplan said Ashe's, quote, "crimes struck at the heart of the criminal justice system." The judge said Ashe impressively rose from modest origins to, quote, "one of the most important judicial positions in the state, but you lost it all," he said, citing her dishonest, corrupt, and frankly outrageous actions. Before the sentence was announced, Ashe said she felt remorse, shame, and embarrassment after she, quote, "disappointed so many." She said she had achieved the American dream before the crimes ruined my life. Quote, "Because of my actions, the reputation I spent a lifetime building has been destroyed, and I have no one to blame but myself." During Ashe's trial, prosecutors said she took actions over many months to obstruct the investigation into financial misconduct at the credit union while she chaired its board of directors. The credit union, they note here, is a nonprofit financial institution headquartered in New York City with more than $4.2 billion in accounts as it provides banking services to over 500,000 members. Authorities said the financial crimes occurred while Ashe, a Brooklyn judge, was on the credit union's board of directors from May of 2008 to August of 2016. When she resigned, she had served as the board's chair from May 2015 until her resignation. In a release, U.S. Attorney Damian Williams said she committed her crimes as she tried to protect financial crimes carried out by the now imprisoned former chief executive of the credit union, who provided her with numerous benefits. Prosecutors said Ashe received tens of thousands of dollars in reimbursements and other benefits from the credit union from 2012 through 2016, including airfare, hotels, and entertainment, along with annual birthday parties at a minor league baseball stadium and payment for phone, cable bills, and electronic devices. As a sitting state judge, Ashe was required to report gifts and benefits from any outside sources on an annual state disclosure form, but prosecutors said she never reported gifts or benefits from the credit union between 2012 and 2018. Earlier this month, 3 retired Brooklyn judges and more than 20 attorneys had asked for a leniency for the disgraced judge. The New York Daily News points out how prior to being charged, Ashe's side gig for the MCU, which has thousands of cases winding through its state's court system, triggered an internal investigation into whether it represented a conflict of interest. But that messy record didn't stop her supporters in the legal community from asking for leniency. Stephen Bamundo, an attorney currently serving on the Kings County Democrat Party's Judicial Screening Committee, wrote, quote, quote, "As a judge, Sylvia brought an air of congeniality and professionalism rarely seen on the bench today." 3 former judges vouched for Ashe in letters to the court, including former Brooklyn Surrogates Court Judge Frank Seddio, who resigned from his position on the bench in 2007 as the State Commission on Judicial Conduct investigated his donations to political candidates and charities. Quote, "She was honest in her dealings with people and always adhered to a strict code of professional conduct," Seddio wrote in his note to Manhattan Federal Judge Lewis Kaplan. A few more details in today's press release from the Department of Justice. They add how in January of 2018, after Cam Wong, MCU's then CEO, had been approached by federal law enforcement agents investigating apparent financial misconduct by Wong, in an attempt to protect Wong, Ashe agreed to and did sign a false and misleading memorandum purporting to explain and justify millions of dollars Wong had received from MCU. Wong subsequently provided that false and misleading memorandum to federal agents in an attempt to demonstrate that the millions of dollars had purportedly been orally approved for him to receive by Ashe in June of 2015 when she was chair of the board. However, in truth, neither Ashe nor the board had approved the payment of those funds. Then in March of 2018, shortly after Wong was placed on administrative leave by MCU, Ashe was interviewed about the memorandum she signed for Wong. During that interview, Ashe admitted that the memorandum was not accurate, but attempted to justify the money that Wong received by stating that MCU's then current general counsel had told her that Wong's employment contract gave him the option of receiving such money. That statement was false. Also, in March of 2018, Ashe was served with a federal grand jury subpoena, the first subpoena, which required the production of documents related to various matters, including Wong's compensation and any communications with Wong through the date of the first subpoena. On April 6, 2018, during a telephonic interview with a federal agent, Ashe falsely stated that she did not have any materials responsive to the first subpoena. On June 18, 2018, Ashe was served with a second federal grand jury subpoena, which required the production of, among other things, all correspondence with Wong and retired NYPD officer Joseph Galliardo, all documents regarding any criminal investigation, internal investigation, or audit related to Wong, and all documents regarding items of value Ashe received from MCU, Wong, or Galliardo. Shortly after, Ashe went to an Apple store and wiped an iPhone X that Wong had provided her in January of 2018. In addition, Ashe deleted emails from her Gmail account, including all of her emails with Galliardo, none of which she produced in response to either of the 2 federal grand jury subpoenas directed to her. Ashe also later wiped 2 MCU-issued iPads she had received. On July 6, 2018, on Ashe's behalf, her then counsel produced materials to the government in response to the second subpoena. This production was materially incomplete and did not contain text messages, emails, and other documents Ashe possessed or had under her custody or control that were responsive to the second subpoena. On July 9, 2018, Ashe attended a voluntary interview with the U.S. Attorney's Office. During this interview, while accompanied by her then counsel, Ashe made multiple false statements, including repeating false statements regarding her purported conversations with MCU's former general counsel about Wong's receipt of cash payments, and falsely claiming that she and her aunt took a trip to Las Vegas paid for by MCU, including airfare, lodging, and entertainment expenses, after she resigned because all of her travel arrangements were paid for by MCU before she resigned, when in truth, all of the expenses were paid for after she resigned. Finally, on or about October 11th, 2019, Ashe was arrested and her cell phone was seized. After obtaining a judicially authorized search warrant, Ashe's phone was searched, which revealed, among other things, numerous text messages including with Wong and Gugliardo, that were concealed in response to the first and second subpoenas. In addition to her prison term, Ash was sentenced to an $80,000 fine and 2 years of supervised release, including a special condition of 20 hours of community service per week while on supervised release. The court reserved the decision on restitution to MCU. Please leave a comment and tell me what you think about this latest update. If you could give this video a thumbs up, remember to click the like button, that's greatly appreciated, and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. As usual, thank you very much everyone who has been supporting this channel with your donations over at Patreon or PayPal, and with your super chats as well. It's greatly appreciated. Even just a few dollars makes a huge difference and helps me keep talking about these important issues. You can find either link down in the video description, where you can support this channel directly, patreon.com/realityreader or paypal.me/realityreader. And once again, with all the censorship happening at YouTube, it's probably a good idea to find me on some alternative platforms as well. The best place to find me is superu.net. That's super, the letter u.net. You can also find me at odyssey.com. I will follow up soon. Thanks again.